All right. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is supreme. The Chaotic Culture Podcast is brought to you by W Energy, the official energy sponsor of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Use promo code Chaotic Culture 1 to get 10% off any of your orders. The Chaotic Culture Podcast is also brought to you by Patreon.com. Subscribe to Patreon.com/Chaotic Culture Pod to get bonus episodes and content and help keep the lights on. You can subscribe today for just $3 a month. Once again, we appreciate your support. This podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alpha can navigate the crazy parts from finances, music, black business highlights, content creators, home ownership, HBCUs, sports, black nerdom, anime, wrestling, etc., and so on. If it encompasses black culture, we are going to cover it. Live from the 410, I am the host and the creator of the Ked and Culture Podcast. This is your boy, Ked the Pro, aka the Calculated Millennial, aka the Encore presentation. I cannot get an encore. Do you want more? Aka your favorite toxic adjacent king, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, all that good shit. 843 is me. Baltimore is the place to be. Always chaotic, never toxic. Back again, once again, with your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. This is the season 6 prologue because we got a lot of content to give you. We got a lot of stories to share and just a lot of people to interview, man. This season is going to be a great season, I think. So once again, y'all, thank y'all for joining us. It's been a minute, I know, but again, on August, we always take our break to make sure that we realign and get our energy back up and shit like that. Because granted, we love doing this, but we got to take every now and again, your mind needs a brain bath. So we over here, we chilling. And of course, with me today is my first co-host, the co-pilot of the Chaotic Culture Pod, and the I don't even know what you call it. I'm a naval officer. Yeah, my boy Law. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
What's going on, y'all? It's back again. It's been a long 2 months for me. As you all know, I announced that I was going into the Navy. I completed boot camp, and I am now at my second duty station, which is to learn my job. It's your boy Law from the 252. Moved from the 757, and we rocking in and checking in from the 850. So it's gonna be one of them things where my shit probably gonna change wherever I go. But I'm locked in with you here from my lovely big room here in sunny Pensacola, Florida. So yeah, I'm excited to be back. Like I told Ked, it felt like I was climbing from under a rock. You go without technology and things and the niceties for about 2.5 months, and they give it back to you with a little bit of freedom. So it's unlearning my civilian ways and relearning my military training, and now I'm unlearning my boot camp training. So it's all one step at a time, man.
Yeah, man, that's really the most important thing, as you say, one step at a time. As y'all can see, I'm in a new environment. Y'all know at the end of season 5, of course, I was in my new apartment already and whatnot, but you saw like different backgrounds and that. I've got the computer room set up. As you can see, the logo over here is in the background. So you already know what's up. If y'all see also in the back, that's just the box that my new microphone set came in and shit. And then of course you got the keyblade over here.
Come on,
Lord. Trying to
upgrades,
get
upgrades.
upgrades, man. Trying to get my bearings situated because I'm dealing with a whole new camera, so I don't know which way is which. But anyway, yeah, it's quite the journey for everybody. Again, I moved to Baltimore, and you see that Law is he changed his background here, but he is naval officer now and unlearning his civilian ways and whatnot. But it's been a summer of transformation and a summer of transition for a lot of us, and that's actually kind of part of the mental health check. Also with me in my mental health check, I will say that I'm a little under the weather. I caught a very nasty cold from work sometime last week, and I don't know where it came from because I usually like fist bump people and I don't like put my hands where they shouldn't be, especially when working in a warehouse. But somehow I caught a cold. I think it might have turned into a minor sinus infection, but I'm gonna get that checked out. We're recording as of Sunday, so I'm gonna get that checked out as of Monday just to make sure, and then hopefully, I'll be able to go back. But I did have to miss a couple of days of work, even though I didn't want to because I don't have that many hours to spare. But I was like, my body cannot deal with it. I can't go in. So I've always listened to my body first before I listen to anything else. But other than that, I can't complain too much. Think the rigors of the job is the rigors of the job, and life is life. But on some good news, we move forward. I am shaking off the cobwebs and getting back into some acting classes. So I think that I'm on a good path. That is the best way that I can say is that I think that I'm on a good path from a career standpoint and from a professional standpoint. And then with the pod, we're gonna be doing some big things as the season goes on. You may see some computer work here and there, like maybe some intros actually being posted when we post this live and whatnot. Getting creative with this thing, of course, in because I got a new computer setup as well. So it's a lot of changes that's going to be happening mid-season. Just like if you rocked with us with season one, you know how many mid-season changes we went through with going with the USB port mic and having four mics finally. Things happen. So
All of it, yeah.
this season, yeah. So this will be a season of transition for the Chaotic Culture podcast as well. But we continuously making big moves, and we are securing some more interviews as well. And it's really just going to be an excellent season. So that's my mental health check. Law, you got anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to so boom, when it comes to the whole Navy thing, I actually went in and enlisted. It was just probably more beneficial for me to go enlisted than to go through because Hampton is as much as I love it, they know how to give you that runaround. So I had a lot of stuff that came down in the final paperwork when it came to get my transcript. So I ended up going enlisted, but my plan is while I am tackling my job to procure those transcripts so that I can be able to uh, go in and go to OCS. So I'm on the enlisted side of things, doing more of the grunt work, but I'm actually meeting a lot more people who are sound minded and who have also been through similar situations. So, with boot camp and everything, you go without your phone and everything for 2 months. And the idea is to break you down so that they can build you back up. And that's essentially what, having gone to college was as well. You just learn how to navigate being an adult when you're at college. And so being here at a school is some of the same things. They getting you to gain a little bit more of a military bearing so that you can be knowledgeable and be confident in your knowledge of what it is that your training is that they're giving you. So it hasn't been too hard on the mental. It's just been more of those you just gotta wake up and do it. Just like you gotta wake up and go to work every day.
Yep. Yep. It's all about training your mind and also training your body. It's for
Definitely.
me, it's like getting used to those 12-hour shifts. That has been probably the most challenging part. Waking up hasn't been as bad because I went from having to wake up at 2:30 a.m. to go for a 3:30 a.m. shift to now waking up at like 7:45 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning to go for a 9 a.m. shift, but it's still 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So it's like the moment I get home, I only got time to eat and then go right back to sleep and do it all over again the next day.
Yeah.
You get 3 days off, but it's still, it's just a matter of training your body to get used to that. And sometimes it's like, especially with the way my ankles work and the way my lower body has, it's been kind of a struggle only because for those who know, like marching on concrete for 4.5 years has not done me any favors. And
Yeah, it'll do it to you for
yeah,
sure.
so but that with that in mind though, it is what it is. Ain't nothing but to do it. So it's just a matter of getting through it and training your body to get used to it. So as I enter my third, well, technically my fourth month with the job, then it's gonna come easier as things get along. But with that in mind, we've done our mental health check. Just gonna do a quick check. Law, I know that you've been under a rock for a couple of months, but have you gotten a chance to listen to any new music that you've enjoyed so far?
Not as of yet. I'm still catching up on my anime stuff, and I've really been putting my anime before anything because like that was really my escape the last couple of weeks before I left for boot
Mhm.
camp. So I've been catching up on my watches. I have seen people like G Herbo. He dropped an album, and you. It's been quite a little bit of music that I've seen that I've like put into my playlist. But when it came down to leaving, I was just like, let me save a couple pennies, and so I unsubscribed from a lot of my music platforms. So I had to go back
Mhm.
in and reestablish all my music and stuff. But like I said, as I've been going slowly, I've just been getting more and more stuff lined up.
And that's fair, bro. That's fair. So on my end, I've listened to a couple of projects. I let me say this real quick. Ice Spice's project, I couldn't get through it. I'm gonna just leave it at. And it's not even a long album. I couldn't get through it, Joe. I
I was
tried.
on Facebook and I seen a video where I guess somebody within her team wanted to pray, and they was like, she fighting them demons, and so like
Mm.
as they're praying, like she's just doing all this twitching and moving and stuff, and they were just like, nah, I don't think that's so much demons as it is her fighting them drugs.
Oh shit. I wouldn't be surprised, yo. The
Or it could
industry
be
is
a mixture
hard,
of
man.
both.
Yeah, and we actually gotta like get to that in a much later, well, not a much later topic, in our next topic actually, but we definitely got to talk about that. But still, being a celebrity, it's a hard life for real, for real. That being said, I don't know what it was, I don't know what it is, but it's like I thought that she was improving as time was going on, but just trying to get through that album, I was like, I don't know how Pitchfork gave her a 7.6. That was way too high. And then
Mm,
on top of that, I listened to Dochi's new mixtape, Alligator Bites Never Heal, and Pitchfork gave that a 7. And I had to like just stare at it like, hold on a minute now. Why did y'all give this a 7 but give Ice Spice's joint a 7.6? What?
mm,
Ain't no fucking way. Excuse my language, but Dochi's mixtape is by far probably the best rap project that has come out in a while.
mm,
Maybe this year, like just it is so like mind blowing, and it really just proves that TDE with or without Kendrick, they can make quality music.
facts.
They
But
they
I feel
always
like
put out.
we already. I would say I feel like we already came through the conclusion that that was already the case.
Yeah.
Like even if he would have retired today, like they have such a solid team of artists that their brand could live forever.
Nah, that's real. We thought that they probably could have done more when Kendrick was there because I still want that Black Hippie album. But that being said, it's not like Kendrick like completely cut ties as evidenced by this summer. He just left the album because he wanted to focus on PG Lang and do his own thing, and there is nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that
Nothing at
man
all.
is still, yeah, he's still tight with everybody on that label. So except for Reason, because Reason left. But yeah, that's pretty much how that turned out. Before I even get to the next topic, I also want to say that I listened to a Raven Lene. If you haven't heard of her, I've been listening to her since like 2015, 2016. She
Hmm.
dropped a project too beginning of August. That shit was really, really, really smooth and really, really cohesive. I actually like this album better than her last one. I love Raven Lene's voice. It is like angelic. So definitely check that out if y'all haven't already. Shout out to my guy, Dear Silas. If you don't know who Dear Silas is, you probably heard the song Skr Skr Skr
I
Skr.
think
That's
so. Yeah.
yeah, that's him. So he dropped a really quick tape that I really wish was longer. It's called Cadillac Leather in July, and nah, that shit rides like it's smooth as hell, and it's only like maybe 20 minutes of even that. So definitely take a listen to that, y'all. If y'all have not listened to it, I'm pretty sure I've listened to more music. I'm just trying to like go off the top of my head on what I've been able to like listen so far. I'm in the middle of Currency's latest project with what's that DJ's name? DJ Fresh. The Tonight Show, the sequel for my weed heads and whatnot. Yeah, that's a good listen so far. Oddly enough, I went back into the past and I listened to Soul to Soul Club Classics Volume 1. That's the album that's the album that has Keep On Moving and Back to Life / However Do You Want It.
Right.
And I don't know what I was doing. I just wanted to like listen. I'm like, you know what? I've been a fan of this for a long time, and I know like they were, this before our time, but I still wanted to listen because for some reason, Back to Life was on my mind, and I've been listening to that like nonstop for a couple of days. So I just went back and I just listened to the whole album, and it's great. It's like it's really was like one of the progenitors of what we now know as house music. So
Right.
had to go back into the past and listen to them real quick. So yep, that's pretty much my list for right now. I've got some more albums that I got to listen to as well because I took a little bit of a break myself from music. But yeah, we getting back into it now. We got to get to this real quick. I'm gonna share my screen for those who have. You should have seen this by now, but I wanted to play it in real time because obviously, yeah, it's important because it plays into pretty much plays into the beef or kinda. So yeah, let's get into this announcement for the halftime show for the Super Bowl.
There you go. Give me one more. Ah. Come on. Two more. Just like that. You ready? Exactly. What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be pulling up? I hope so. You know it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round twos. Let's get it. I won't want you to miss it. Meet me in New Orleans, February 9th, 2025. Wear your best dress too, even if you're watching from home. Let's go. Yay! That's what I'm talking about, man. Now we can get to it for real. Come on, you gotta make sure you catch it with the hands open like that. We running real routes. You're gonna be messing up.
Yo, it's so many complexities to that commercial. One,
Very much.
I'm excited because his performance for I think it was the Paris, or I think it was either in Paris or in Spain. That was an epic performance. I don't know if well, slow down. Kid, let me know if you know about the performance that I'm talking about. He had this was around the time of I want to say To Pimp a Butterfly. He had did a performance and had all the black people out coming in and participating in the performance. But if you don't know about that performance, look it up. I wish I had the exact off the top of my head so I could tell you. But just the complexities of having an American flag right there. You don't get no round twos. You got to catch it open hands. He literally is telling whoever he's talking to to pull up, pull up February 9th. You know where I'm gonna be at. I see you there. Or wear your best dress even if you're not gonna be there. Like the definition
Yeah.
of pull up and put that shit on.
Hey, you ain't lying, man. There's a lot of hidden and not so hidden messages with this particular commercial, one of the things that struck out to me is like, okay, Kendrick was already at the Super Bowl as a featured guest in 2022. Like, not even 2 years ago at this point. It'll be 3 by the time he performs, but not even 2 years ago, he was literally on stage with Dr. Dre, with Snoop, with Eminem, with 50, and all of them and whatnot. So yeah,
Was it
it's
the
like
50th anniversary?
nah, that was the year before, but that was when the Super Bowl was held in LA.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, so Kendrick actually gets to perform there, and now he's, from all practical purposes, now the headliner. He's the first artist, I think, to do that in a while, and there's only been like a handful of performers who've been able to do that, be a guest and a feature. If I'm not mistaken, Bruno Mars is on that list, Beyonce is on that list, and there's somebody else I can't put my I can't think of. I don't know if it was Prince. I don't know if Prince was a feature and then the headliner. I know he was the headliner, but yeah, there's only
Just
only
a
4
handful.
artists. Yeah, it's literally only 4, and Kendrick is part of that 4. So it's crazy. Maybe Usher. I think Usher was a feature in one Super Bowl, and then became the headliner. It was he had a bigger gap, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that, y'all. I'll have to look that one up. But still, that is elite company, and y'all know artists really don't get paid for the Super Bowl performances, but when you perform at the Super Bowl, everything else just gets heightened. I mean, obviously, Kendrick has been the artist of the summer, and he hadn't even dropped a single album. That man dropped a verse on one track and then dropped 4 tracks, and that's really all he's done. And
But if I'm not mistaken, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they have he has music that's supposed to be coming out either the end of this year or the beginning of next year.
And that's the other thing that I wanted to point out, is that he does have music on the way, allegedly. So it's coming. It's coming, and I can't wait to see what he does and what this album sounds like. Just like you, Law, there have been plenty of performances. Like, Kendrick is a performer. He's not just a rapper by any sense. Like, he literally goes and puts on whole ass shows. If you didn't see the pop out, like, look it up again. It's on the internet. Like, and if you haven't been to a live Kendrick concert, like, at least once, I've been to 2. One before, Good Kid, Mad City came out, when he was doing the BET Music Matters tour, and then during the championship tour, when it was like all a TDE for the most part. And yeah, it's electric every single time. Like, he does something different. He always comes with the energy. He, of course, raps his own rap. He don't rap with the track. So, like, dude is an actual performer. So I really can't wait to see what Kendrick does at the Super Bowl. And then, of course, the little sly, disses or subliminals, quote unquote, in that commercial. And he's like, no round 2s, because y'all know a certain somebody on the Instagram posted Rasheed Wallace saying we will win game 2. This man saying, I ain't got time for no game 2, bro. You should have won game 1.
That part.
Should have been, yeah, she should have been focused the first round. We ain't doing this. We ain't doing this back and forth.
We're not doubling back.
No, we're not. But one of the things that I thought was the funniest on the internet, like, if you go to X/Twitter, yo, this nigga Livingston Allen, aka DJ Academics, he had a generational crash out tweeting, because he was just, I don't know if he was pissed or surprised or all of the above, but yeah, he just tweeting into the void, talking about how upset he was, and Jay-Z didn't look after Wayne and whatnot, because Wayne is from New Orleans and whatnot, and didn't get the point. Is not performing at the Super Bowl. But I'm like, a lot of artists don't perform at the Super Bowl, even though it's in their hometown. So why are we mad? I know that people want to see Wayne, because, again, it is his backyard, but maybe Wayne didn't want to. And even if he did, like, maybe something fell through. And then look at it like this, yo, Kendrick has been the artist of the summer. Why would they not capitalize on that?
Yeah. So this is like his victory lap type.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's a business, and who's to say that Wayne won't be at the Super Bowl, man? Maybe Kendrick will put him on. I don't know if he will, but Kendrick still loves Wayne. Like, that's been one of his influence when he was coming into the game. So it's not out of the question that Wayne won't be a part of it. It's just He ain't gonna be the headliner, clearly, but yeah, that's just how I see it. Like, I think people just want to be mad, and the the Drake Glazers were obviously, having a meltdown, well, some of them anyway, but I just think that this is going to be an excellent Super Bowl performance. And if I don't know how much money I got to save, I don't know what the tickets is going to look like, but I'm going to look at them damn tickets for the Super Bowl because I definitely want to go.
For sure. I mean, for just to even be in the city as it's going on, it's enough, like just to see, like, yo, you never know who you could brush elbows with just by being in the city.
Exactly. And I've never been to New Orleans. I was trying to
Same.
go. Yeah, I was trying to go last year, but unfortunately, my job at the time, they kind of dicked me over, so I couldn't go. Because my boy was out there getting married, and I said I wanted to be out there, and unfortunately, they just wouldn't let me go. So I was just, I missed my opportunity. But this will be a chance that a lot of us will be able to do. So
But
with
I'm right here in Pensacola, which is, for me, if I'm not mistaken, it's only like this 5 to 6 hour drive, something like that.
oh,
So
you ain't
you
got
feel me?
far.
I graduate in January, so the end of January. So I mean, what better of a congratulations than pop out and pop out in Nola, bro?
And that's what I'm saying. That'd be a great graduation gift, man. Listen, the drive is gonna be much further than for me because I'm in Baltimore. I would have to fly. Like, ain't no way
Yeah.
I'm driving that long unless
Nah.
circumstances, permit me to do so. But I'm not driving if I can help it. I am flying. Anything that's
So
over 10 hours, I'm flying. I'm sorry. Shoot, anything
got
over 7 hours, I'm probably flying. So
no funny.
yeah, for real, for real. In any case, yo, that is the Super Bowl halftime announcement. Kendrick will be headlining, and I think it's going to be a great show, and I can't wait to see it. And it's going to be funny if that man performs Not Like Us, because then you're going to have all of New Orleans and millions worldwide saying that A minor bar, and I'm just going to be like, yeah, Drake, you need to sit this one out for another year or two, bro. Chill and let people miss you, because Drake has actually been dropping music, but it hasn't. I haven't been feeling it, but I haven't been feeling Drake's music for a long time. Not since I think the last album I kind of liked was Scorpion. If I'm being like brutally honest,
Mm,
I'm not counting Her Loss because Her Loss is a collab album. But like
yeah.
as far as his solo albums, I think Scorpion was the last one that I was kind of like, okay. I haven't liked anything else. I don't like Certified Lover Boy. I can't stand Honestly Nevermind. And For All the Dogs, no, absolutely not.
And I
Even
mean,
even,
if
the, even yeah, go ahead.
I'm about to say, you see, he's still pulling on Sir Esquire for features.
Uh, mm. Well, it is
Riding,
what it
he
is.
gonna ride that train till it run off the tracks.
I'm saying, I mean, he pretty much says that, yeah, I'm running to Atlanta and I don't care. Just proving the bar. That's why I'm like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. We are eventually going to have to do a music roundtable on Drake's catalog, because I do want to do that. And I do
Yeah.
want to have a couple of my boys up here, because make no mistake, I still I like old Drake. It's kind of like Kanye. I miss the old Drake. The new Drake, I don't know what he's been on lately, but he got issues. But Drake before Scorpion, oh hell yeah, I'm with it. Even views, like the album views, I didn't like it at first. I've even warmed up to it like a tiny bit. If I
Yeah.
had scored this like maybe 4 years ago, I would have gave views like a C minus. Now I'm more on the lines of I'm gonna give views like maybe a B minus C plus. That's how I'm feeling now. But yeah, that's all I can say about that. I'm gonna wait till we actually do the music roundtable, and I'm gonna probably have some special guests. I gotta bring Leak back because I know Leak is going to trash his damn. He's going to trash it, but I'm also gonna have a couple people who are Aubrey's Angels, so that way they can defend their goat. Because listen, we need to have that conversation, man. We gotta have both sides of the story, and then we gotta have the unbiased folk who are just like, this is what it is, and this is what it isn't. But in any
Oh, the
case,
hot
y'all.
takes that will come.
Oh, I already know they're gonna be hot. Like they're gonna be blazing hot takes. But All right, y'all. We got to get into Act One of our episode today for the prologue, and this, excuse me, this one is called like losing our music legends because in the past, not even in the past 3 weeks, we've lost two. Well, we've lost a legend in the hip hop game. We lost a beat maker, and then of course we just lost a really influential rapper. For those who don't know, of course, BeatKing passed away in the middle of August, and then not even a week or two after that, we ended up losing Fatman Scoop, and then this past week we just lost Rich Homie Quan, and it's just crazy how at one point or another how these three people have kind of influenced the game. Like if you came out of Texas, I know BeatKing's catalog like the back of your hand. And granted, I didn't grow up with BeatKing, but I knew some of his work and I knew some of his later work. And I'm like, yo, I could see how he could have the club in Houston going stupid. And
No, bro. That's who, bro. What? Ain't no way.
yeah, it's crazy. If I'm not mistaken, he passed because of a blood clot in his lung,
Mm-hmm.
and I unfortunately know that pain because that the same thing happened to my grandfather. Granted, my grandfather was 97, so that is kind of understandable. But when you're 39, that's nuts.
It's way
That's
too
absolutely
soon.
way too soon. And so man, it really like crushes my heart because I've said on this pod numerous times that our hip hop folk, whether they are legends or whether they're just regular artists who are getting established or folk who've given us bangers, they deserve to like live and grow old, man. There's a lot of folk in the hip hop world who don't even live to their 60s. And the same thing could be said with Fatman Scoop. Fatman Scoop was only 53. And if you're not familiar with Fatman Scoop, man had a radio show. He's one of the best hype men around. Like, I listen, if you never heard like Fatman Scoop, Crooklyn Clan, like off that Timberland joint, and rest in peace to Magoo as well, because damn, Timberland the only one surviving on that track. That is insane, bro. That is insane. And so if you hadn't heard that, or if you hadn't heard, Lose Control by Missy and you hear his voice in the background, he's also throughout like plenty of artist music. Or if you heard they play this all the time at the Hampton parties, you got $100 bill, put your hands up, you got a $50 bill, put your hands in. Like if you didn't hear that mix, yeah, that Fatman Scoop, bro, he really was a generational talent and a generational hype man. And I'm really that one really like, whoa, okay, like we got to slow down. But then not even soon after that, Rich Homie Quan, man, drug overdose. Going back to that comment about Ice Spice being on the drugs, man, like being a celebrity is got to be extremely difficult, especially when you aren't where you want to be anymore. And unfortunately, we know Rich Homie, granted, he still dropped like quality music, but a lot of people, quote unquote, weren't checking for him anymore because after that fallout with his label and the fallout with Thug and whatnot, he just wasn't in the spotlight as much anymore. But that time between 2013 and 2016 slash 2017, those 4 years when Rich Homie Quan was in the spotlight, bro, like that was a time. That was a great 4 year span. Like he had a generational run, whether it
Yeah.
was teaming up with Thug or even just singles by himself. Like Quan really had people out here dancing and grooving at college parties and whatnot. And dude was always humble. And I wish I got an opportunity to kind of meet him because I know a couple of my friends, even back in Charleston, got the actual opportunity to chat with him and meet him. And he just has been a humble guy and has always thanked God, just for where he was. But if you've listened to a couple of his interviews, he said like he always struggled like with not only with depression but also with drugs and whatnot because when there was times when he was like blowing up, he couldn't stay up, and then that's how he got introduced to ecstasy, and that kept him up, and unfortunately that it became a bad habit. So it's crazy. It is really insane that we lost him as well. 34 is even still way too young, and it's nuts to think about, man. I really wish that they had more time and that they were gone way too soon. And I really wish that a lot of us had appreciated Quan more for what he did for the music game. Was he the best rapper in the world? No, not by any stretch. But Quan had some hits. Quan had some bangers on hooks. Quan had the vibe, man.
It's what he did for the people. What he did for the club. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anybody can just make a a track and it go viral for the moment. But like you said, from 13 to hell, I'll say even 18, 19, bro. Like, that was everybody was hitting the Quan or playing ooh 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 or what would you do? What would you do for the paper? Like,
yeah, man.
that was pivotal, especially like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I came out of high school at 14, so like that freshman year of college, like Thug, Quan, uh, the song with T.I., I count 6 shots, buzzing out the band up. that
If
was
it ain't about the money, that was my shit. It's hard, man. It really is hard. And yeah, honestly, I don't know, where we go from here. I guess life goes on, but it's still just rough to think about when you see that like Quan was only a year and a half older than I am, and I'm sitting here like, damn, yo, like 34, BeatKing 39, Fatman Scoop 53. Like, these are, the average lifespan is supposed to be 76. And granted, even I think that's too short. Like, a lot of folk, if you can live into your 80s, man, that's you consider blessed. And so I can only hope and pray that I get to live that long. I know, longevity has its purpose, but I just hope and pray that also that our hip hop legends and hip hop artists currently get a chance to, grow old, man. See your kids grow up and see your kids have grandkids. And if you're fortunate enough, see your grandkids have kids.
right.
They deserve that, man. Like, and to see so many of the artists like don't even make it out of their 30s and 40s, and some don't even make it out of their 50s. It's crazy, bro.
And it's more so of a eye opener, especially for, well, to me at least. Um, like, put these drugs down, man. Like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, I love a good herbal essence. But I had to make that sacrifice and do what I got to do so that I can further myself, and not be held back behind, the stigmas that come with, being 420 friendly. So it's just like, everybody we're all grown adults, we can all make our own decisions, but like, we're talking about longevity of life, and honestly speaking, people are putting the dollar bill before your enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they're just looking for that bread. And if you are okay with being monetized as a dollar bill when it comes to the enjoyment of such activities, I mean, power to you. But I don't want to see nobody that I'm close to go out all because they got the wrong substance, And then it's just like, they trying to make their dollar stretch, but they're not looking at the factors behind it. They taking people off this world left and right.
You make a fair point, man. And to be honest, like, even if we are still like 420 friendly, I always say like don't let that be a hindrance to you and whatnot, and don't let that turn into something else. Because that's not to say that weed is a gateway drug, but there are plenty of folk out there who are just like, weed don't do enough for me, and I'm gonna go and do something else because you so used to smoking, now you just want to do something else to feel another kind of high. I've seen friends and whatnot, they put the weed down and then start doing, they start bumping coke and whatnot, and I'm like, I ain't with that. Some folk out here doing shrooms, and I mean, if you want that psychedelic feel in that moment, okay, but if you're doing it on a regular, then that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And especially in the industry, man. I know that the industry is crazy, and you got all of these, you got all this peer pressure out here telling you to do this, do that, or do this to make you feel better, or do this to keep you up, or do this if you want to like feel the vibe and whatnot, man. Like, be in this instance, I'm gonna take all I'm going to just say be like Kendrick in this case, man. Kendrick, you see, like that man makes music and goes home.
Yeah.
And he might drink wine or he might drink a little liquor, but he ain't overdosing because that man said that, when he was in high school, he got past the sherb stick and he crashed out and he did not like that feeling. So he
Yeah.
was like, nah, I ain't doing that no more. So yeah, just don't let the industry and don't let outside forces dictate you from becoming your best self for real, for real. And that ain't just for the hip hop industry. That's just in general and in life, man. Like, it's okay, because again, we all adults. If you want to do these things, again, I'm not here to advocate for or against, 420 friendly-ish things, but if you want to participate in that, that's fine. Just don't let that hinder you from being your best self. And then on top of that,
Mhm.
if you get involved in these other drugs, I can't help you other than to tell you, like, stop,
That ain't
man.
it.
That ain't it. It's really not. So, but you know what? There are some functioning drug addicts out here. I don't know how they do it, but they still do it. So I can't, deter you one way or the other. All I'm gonna say is just that for my people, if you listening, man, just don't even engage. Don't immerse yourself in the drug culture and whatnot. And then just remember that the hip hop culture, they talk about these things, but a lot of times it's a cry for help. And some of them may glorify it, but that don't mean that their life is together, man. Like, honestly, I know that a lot of us love Future, but I would never want to live that life that Future lives, from the drug abuse that he's gone through to the amount of kids he's got to pay child support for all the different women that he's been involved with and pretty much have, those strained relationships with. I don't want that for my life or anybody else's life, because that's a hard life to live. So again, we
I
all
mean,
adults, you can
if
make the
he's
decision. But
if he's making it work, power to him. At the end of the day, I just believe advocacy for the right thing is where I stand. Be be the change that you want to see, and also like it don't hurt to take 2 seconds out of your schedule to give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? Because you can easily change and be influential into somebody else's life.
mm-hmm.
Um, just a quick example. I'm in the airport transitioning from boot camp to Pensacola, and there's two little babies just they're like enamored by me in my uniform, waiting to get on the plane, and they tug on their parents and was like, "Look, look." You know what I'm saying? I'm in my dress whites. They were like, "Yeah, he's a sailor." I was just like, I was just like, "Y'all want to be like me when you grow up?" But they were like, "Yeah." I'm just like that made me feel good,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like even though I'm not fully in the fleet yet, like just to hear, thank you for your service, or kids just like saying, I want to be like him when I grow up. Like it warms your heart, and it makes you realize like what I'm doing is bigger than just what I'm doing for myself. Like I'm potentially influencing the next generation of sailors, or just the next people to go in the military. Because like I was explaining like everything that I was doing training wise, and they're just like, "That's cool, that's so dope." And I'm just like, I mean, for 10 weeks, no, it wasn't cool, but like for them to hear it, like I understood that like they were just they're still in the sense of learning, about becoming older, if that makes sense. And like they weren't any older than 10. They had to be like 7 or 8. But like just to sit there and have that conversation with them, and just spark that conversation of, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And like that was like 20 minutes out of that 36-hour transaction. Like, bro, like leaving boot camp, I was up for like at least 2.5 days, like just between traveling and packing and just moving. So, just to have that small distraction, it not only helped me, but I felt good that I was able to, give these kids something to like aspire to be.
Man, that's always good to hear. I'm glad that even just you being in uniform sparked that passion and sparked that idea that the kids can be, whatever they want to grow up to be. And just to see that influence, I think that goes a long way, man. So I will say to the audience, like, listen, you never know who you are influencing, or you never know who's got eyes on you. So just always remember, like, whatever your passion is and whatever your profession is, that somebody is looking at you, and you could be inspiring the next generation to be their best selves as well. And that, don't take the examples of what's happening in the hip hop world for granted, because there's a lot of people that look up to the three people that we just talked about. We can't tell you how influential BeatKing was in Houston, Fatman Scoop was in New York, and just across all of hip hop, and what Quan did for the South. Like, these people, had influence somewhere. Unfortunately, in Quan's situation, he had a drug issue. So, we want to be sure that we are trying to maintain a positive light for the next generation to come up, and not just, tearing ourselves down, and, trying to, I guess the word I'm looking for is, we don't want to be seen as negative influences, because we already got enough in our culture. So rest in peace to Quan, man, and rest in peace to his family. Like, not his family, goodness gracious, family's still alive, but rest in peace to Quan. And I'm praying strongly for his family. And I'm also praying strongly for the families of Fatman Scoop and for BeatKing. Having uh, a blood clot at 39, and I'm not sure what took Scoop out. I think it was more or less like somewhere along the same thing. I don't know if it was a heart attack or whatever, but still, just having health problems at this age, man, just please be sure that you take care of your body. On top of that, make sure that you know what you're putting in your body and in and out of your body. And then sometimes maybe it can't be helped. It might be hereditary, but do what you can to make sure that you live in your best healthy life. That's the other big thing as well, because you don't know, what's out here and what could plague and actually harm your body. So please be sure that you do the correct research, you do the right exercises, you eat right, and drink more water. That's really what it is. That's what this cup is, a cup of water. So, all right, well, moving on to our next topic. I wanted to talk to you to see if you got a chance to watch the Club Shay Shay interview with Marlon Wayans.
No. If it was anywhere between August 24th and I'll say for real, September 1st, I haven't been able to. I'm not privy to anything. So like when you were just like, there's a new beef, I was just like, wait, hold up, wait a minute.
All right, so full context, I'm like halfway through the interview. I haven't finished it myself, but the interview itself actually dropped like 2 or 3 days ago, so it's actually still fairly new. But what sparked this is that one of our favorite ops, DJ Vlad, who is a culture vulture for all practical purposes, he was trying to interview Marlon Wayans. And for those who know, I mean, there's no point in me explaining who Marlon Wayans is, man. If you don't know who the Wayans family is and who the Wayans brothers are, like, come on, what are we doing here? But I might have a younger audience, so I'm just gonna say, look up the Wayans family. All comedians, generational talents, like, they are one of the biggest comedic families in all of entertainment. Like Keenan Ivory Wayans, Damon Wayans, Kim Wayans, Sean and Marlon, and they've got a whole host of other brothers and sisters that are just in the family business. And it's crazy because the way that this feud started was that Vlad wanted to interview Marlon, and Marlon gave him a price. He said he wanted 40 racks for the interview. And for I guess for Marlon, that's actually kind of cheap, considering I know that a lot of people will probably ask for more. But I think also Marlon had also asked for residuals from that interview as well, depending on how well it did. You know, if you post just the interview on YouTube itself, knowing DJ Vlad's actual, you know,
Viewership.
I guess, yeah, his viewership and his subscribers and whatnot, he could probably make that 40 G's back and probably double it. But
Yeah.
in Vlad's eyes, he didn't think that Marlon was worth the money. He said that he only had an interview with the Breakfast Club that only got like 100 or maybe like 200K views, and he didn't think that it was worth $40,000 to spend on him. So he didn't interview him. And then Vlad went on a whole Twitter tirade about it. And Marlon was just like, yo, who do you think you are? Like, and he started taking shots at Vlad, and I'm glad he did, because Vlad is the op show. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen a DJ Vlad interview or if y'all have ever like actually interacted with him. He is like literally culture vulture to the core. Like, if there's one person that I probably can't stand more than DJ Academics is DJ Vlad. So, and I just
Isn't
with
it?
it.
Don't he got the running stigma? Like if you interview with him, something bad happened to you.
Yeah, and more along the lines of if you interview with him, he's basically the ops. He's basically like the FBI. Like, he uncovered some shit and whatnot. I don't like Vlad, and I've never liked the way that he conducted interviews and shit. It's just I've never been a fan, and I take that back because I really don't like him. I'm gonna just say it like this: I actually hate DJ Academics more than I hate Vlad. I'm gonna be honest, because academics is for all practical purposes a meat rider to the core. Like, that boy,
Holy shit!
yeah, that boy be glazing, and then just some of the negative shit that academics be doing, especially the way he treats women. Nah, I can't stand academics, but
Can't let
Vlad
it
is up
fly.
there too. Yeah, Vlad is up there too, for real, and I'm just like, he is absolutely the ops. But I say all that to say that these two were going at it on a back and forth on Twitter, and this man Vlad was like, he's not worth the money. I don't think that he would be able to generate, be getting 40K back. So Marlon was like, bro, I'm gonna interview with everybody except you, and I promise you, they not gonna scoff at my price. So he went on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. On the first day alone, over 1 million views. And this man Vlad said that he couldn't garner 100K views. So he already had 10 times more views in one day than Vlad said he could get throughout the entire interview. So maybe Vlad was thinking that Marlon Wayans couldn't get over 100K views on his platform. Maybe that was what it was, because clearly Shannon Sharp was like, oh, I could get him. And as of right now, have close to 4 million views on this interview alone.
Whew. Let's unpack this, man. So what I'm hearing is that, I mean, because you got to think about it. Shannon Sharp not only has national television broadcast viewers, not only does he have the people who followed him in sports, he's followed over YouTube. He's followed from his podcast. I mean, his podcast has done numbers, especially having done or interviewed the likes of Cat Williams. Like the Cat Williams, I don't even know how many views that pulled in, but I know for a fact that shit sent the fucking internet into a tizzy. Mm-hmm. So like, it's almost like trying to hold a conversation at a table that you can't compare.
Yeah.
And like he's just like, he put himself on a pedestal and he got let down severely.
I wholeheartedly agree. I honestly think that as I'm listening to this, and someone has said this on YouTube as well, that yeah, maybe DJ Vlad didn't think that interview would garner 100K views because he didn't think he would be able to do it on his platform. Whereas we know just how well Shannon Sharp is liked. We know the views and the numbers that he pulls up on all of his shows. And so this was like, okay, I'm interviewing one of the Wayans brothers coming from a famous family and whatnot. I know that I can get more than just 100K views, and he proved the point. And so Marlon was just like, I think Marlon had the correct approach with this, and I'm glad that he did not do that interview with Vlad, because you should always bet on yourself. And the Wayans brothers in general, the Wayans family has always bet on themselves, and they've always come out on top. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, hats off to Marlon. He played it smart and he came out on top looking like the victor. It's crazy because I think that Vlad really didn't think long term with this. And by going on Twitter and doing that rant, and then also trying to downplay Marlon Wayans himself, and saying that he's irrelevant, and saying all kinds of other shit. Now you know, people are just like, now wait a minute, why are you saying this about a Wayans brother? Hold on now. Now you're purposely driving up those numbers. And I know Vlad is gonna go on to say, oh, this interview made numbers because of me and because of the way I reacted. Well, no, this come back on. But yeah, maybe if you just like be quiet about it, this wouldn't have blown back the way that it did. But unfortunately for you, you had to open your big mouth. And you
Mm-hmm.
know how a lot of people feel about you and how you conduct your interviews and how you're just a big ass culture vulture. And they see you attacking one of our legends, because at this point, Marlon Wayans is a legend now. He's been in the comedy game for 30 years now. At this point, you're like, nah, we not having that. So now you put more eyes on him, and whatever he does after that is just gonna have more people paying attention. So,
Yep.
I just have to say that was not a smart play from DJ Vlad on more than one front. Don't come after our legends, bro. Don't try to act like you are this high and mighty. I don't know what it is. Maybe he thinks that when he does these interviews that he is the attraction and not the guest. But if you have that mindset when you're interviewing somebody, then all I got to say is, bro, get off your high horse, because
She's
no.
not gonna last long. You know,
Yeah,
like that's what he said in Temptation. They came to see me. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
exactly. Exactly. Like, we not here for you, bro. We here for the people that you interviewing.
That
Like, we
part.
want to see what guests you bringing in. Like, we not here for your ass, especially not DJ Vlad. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about? Ain't nobody want to see that white milk dud. Ain't nobody wants to see them. Like,
It's
I
about
don't, I don't get it.
the platform is for the people that you bring on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
granted, yeah, it's cool that you know you've been doing it for however long, and you might be innovative. But like for real, I don't feel like he's bringing anybody up who hasn't already been interviewed before. Like, I
Right.
could see if he's interviewing the next breaking new artist or the top 15 artists or something of the sort. But like you're literally just conducting the same interviews that have already been had. The only thing you're doing
Right.
is you might be bringing up a situation that might not have been talked about or expounded upon in another interview that probably didn't get brought up for the reason or fact that it was a reason why it shouldn't have got brought up. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, that's really all that I wanted to say about that. For real, is yeah, there's a reason why I don't like DJ Vlad, and that little scuffle that he had with Marlon Wayans is just one of the many reasons why I can't stand him, and why I think that dude is just a vulture 100%. But in any case, y'all, that's really all the time that we got for today. I did want to ask Law if he had any other comments before we get up out of here, or if there was any new businesses that he wanted to highlight. And then at that point, we just gonna wrap it up for real, because we didn't want to keep y'all too long, and we got other things that we gotta do, and we got other things that we gotta prepare for. So, Law, you got any new businesses you want to highlight?
No new businesses. Like I said, I'm in Pensacola, so I'm still trying to figure my way around down here. New city, different things to explore. Um, I'm really just in my duffel bag until my birthday next month. So, um, I'm gonna come back to the episodes after trying to catch up and hopefully be able to, keep up with what's what. But for now, this is just me, on the naval side of things.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. Real quick, I'm just gonna say this. You will never hear me say this ever again, but shout out to the Cowboys because they beat the Browns and my Steelers won today, and the Bengals lost and the Ravens lost on Thursday. So guess who's at the top of the division? Y'all already know. Black and gold. That's all I gotta say. Here we go. Anyway, and so many analysts have picked the damn Falcons to win that game. Boy, every year y'all do this. Y'all always sleep on Pittsburgh's defense. The offense needs some work. I saw some flashes of brilliance right now, but every year y'all sleep on that Pittsburgh defense, and everybody's healthy this year. So all I'm gonna say is, if you see us, it's probably not gonna be a game that you like, whether you win or lose. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm saying. I know that it's a election year, so that means we play the Cowboys this year. We play all of the NFC East this year, so I'll be looking forward to that game. We'll see who comes out the winner when that day happens. The way that the Cowboys look, though, I'm not confident, but we'll see what happens. That's all I can
Hold
say.
on, let me pull this schedule up because I haven't really even looked at the schedule. I will say one of two things. One, our defense looks very, very good. I was
Yes.
excited to see all those key factors. And another thing, it's gonna be kind of a ramble type situation, but um, just seeing how the offense was working, that made me we play y'all the day after my birthday
Ooh,
in
that'll be
Pittsburgh.
fun. Oh, that'll be really
Mm,
fun.
mm, mm. Lord have mercy.
Yep,
Kid, I'm
Tennessee.
gonna let you know now. If y'all piss me off for my birthday, bro, I won't be at that recording.
Ah, shit. I was gonna say one of us is gonna be insufferable that episode. I already know.
But no, I was excited to see how Dak played today. He definitely showed the paycheck that he just signed for. He
Oh
should,
yeah,
that is the Dak we have been looking for. So
yep.
I'm thoroughly and happily I'm a happy fan this week. I don't know about next week. Tune in next episode to see
Yeah, I'm
see
saying.
where my temperament is. But I was excited to see Zeke back behind the ball. He looked healthy. Dowdle, he was running very well this game. Turpin had a immaculate punt return. I was very thoroughly pleased behind that. So we have some key components that still need to get locked in and fine tuned. But I'm not gonna say what everybody says that as a Cowboys fan we say. I'm gonna just say tune in next week to see the performance.
That's all you can do, man. It's a week by week thing, and with football, especially in the NFL, any given Sunday or any
Any
given Monday
given
or
Sunday.
Thursday, it can happen. So with that, I'm just gonna say for me, the Steelers, the defense looked absolutely phenomenal. They locked in that second half. They really were, especially between Highsmith, Hayward, and TJ Watt. They were getting to the quarterback. They were pressuring him, sacking Kirk Cousins, disrupting the offense. It was really great to see. The offense, of course, again, we said it needs a little bit of work. But with that in mind, we hit the red zone more times than I thought that we did, or I thought that we were going to. Of course, shout out to Chris Boswell. He came in the clutch. He was pretty much he pretty much scored every single point that Pittsburgh had. Like all of our points came from field goals. But shout out to him and his leg. But definitely shout out to Justin Fields. He did, have some early shakes, but as the game, went on, he got more comfortable in the pocket and getting out of the pocket and making plays when they mattered the most. We just got to capitalize on those third downs and in those red zone plays so that way we can actually score and come up with touchdowns, because you're not going to win the game on just field goals alone in like 90% of the situations. This game was an outlier, but that's all I got to say about that. we'll see what happens. Tune in next week. We got the Broncos, so I'm hoping for a successful game.
Oh,
All
and
right.
one
Sure.
last thing. I want to say shout out to Brandon Aubrey for making that field goal. He kicked a 63-yard field goal, something like that.
Mm.
But they called it was delay of game. So it was a delay of game, but he kicked the field goal and it would have broke the record for the longest field goal.
And
So
that's
if y'all did not see that, go back and rewatch that because they backed him up. It was a 63-yard field goal, or it might have been a 62, but either way, the delay of game put it at being a 71-yard field goal, and I was hoping that they would have like it was a selfish moment just to see if he would have made it. The 71-yard field goal, that's unheard of. But yeah, Brandon Aubrey has a boot on him, and shout out to the special teams as well.
indeed. I promise y'all, next episode we're gonna have some more black businesses we gotta highlight because there's some black businesses around Baltimore that I definitely want to highlight as well. And hopefully I get a chance to talk to some of them. And also we're gonna have a couple guests that will come back here and put their black business out there so that way we can highlight them and chop it up with them and whatnot. We got some things coming this season, y'all. So be prepared, man. This is just the prologue. We just getting started. So with that, again, with every prologue, I'm not going to do like the rundown because it's just the teaser episode for real. When we get to the real shit, of course, you'll hear all the black businesses, content creators, artists, and the like that we support and who supported us. And you'll get to hear and see from some new people. And hopefully we'll have more of the squad here as well to actually help us. But again, we starting with the OG too. And that's a great way to start the season for real, man. It was, again, if y'all know, from the beginning, it was me and Law. And that's it. And then we added more people as the podcast began to grow. But it just started out with the OG two of us. So we here. That being said, y'all, we appreciate y'all joining us. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast on your favorite digital streaming platform. Be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon once again for early access to the podcast and bonus content. You can subscribe at any of the 4 levels, but of course, you can always just subscribe at that $3. Once again, we appreciate your support. You can follow us on Facebook at the Chaotic Culture Podcast page. You can also follow us on X/Twitter at Chaotic Culture 1 because they packed up the old page. I'm still mad about that, but we ain't gonna talk about it. And then you can follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod. You can follow me, Ked the Pro. That's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Miss Nasa at I'm Nakaso on all social media. You can follow Law at L.JR_96 on Instagram. And of course, you can follow him on X/Twitter at Law96_. You can follow Sappy at Scraps14 on all social media. You can follow Johnny at J. Lee Trey on all social media. And of course, you can follow Scuba Steve at Scuba Steve 1428 on all social media. And once again, y'all, this has been another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. Welcome to season 6. On that note, until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture, chaos rules, be blessed, be safe, and God is love. And we are out of here. Deuces.
1.